Are you ready to break free of the life that feels wrong, inauthentic, and doesn't suit you? Have you always imagined moving forward, but just didn't know how to make it happen? Stay right where you are because Elizabeth Moore, the soul and body healer, is here to show you how to raise your bar.
Hi, and welcome to this show. I'm super excited about today. I know I say that every time, but it's because I love healing. I love that feeling when you are actually making progress and you're feeling things going and you are moving into who you are. It's it's so special, and it's like a golden light just shines down. So I am really excited about today. Let me introduce myself first, though. I'm Elizabeth Moore. I am the owner of Purple Door. You can find it at www.purpledoor-cambridge.ca, and you can find all of my services and all of our products there as well. It's fabulous. So I am a life coach. First and foremost, I love that so much, but I'm also an energy healer. I am a palm reader. I am a color therapy, trained in color therapy. So we do readings, and we also do healing with color therapy, which I don't talk about a lot, but I really, really love. Today, we're talking about something that is near and dear to my heart. And honestly, it can be a little bit of well, everybody has different opinions on it. Let's say it that way. But my take on it is actually finding the beauty in being broken and realizing that broken looks different to everybody. And there are different types of broken, and not all of them are beautiful. I totally agree with that fact. But it's taking back your power and taking control of your healing journey. And you can't go through life and not have broken pieces and bits. And hmm, instead of pushing them off or pretending they don't exist, I encourage embracing them and making them into what you want them to be. So, what started all of this was a long time ago. After my tower moment, I was having a conversation and I was like, you know what? It's been a few months. I'm fine. The world's fine. Everything's fine. I just need to move forward and let this go. Like it didn't happen. And the person I was talking to just like, she reached out and put her hand on mine and she was like, that sounds great, but you have so much work to do before you're going to be fine. But you are fine as you are. And it was just I wanted to argue so much. Do you know that feeling when you're like, wait, I just said I was fine. I'm fine. I wasn't. I had no idea what I was or where I was or what was going on. But I needed that advice. I needed that guidance. I needed to be shown that even though I was broken, I was still perfectly wonderful as I was. And we are, and you are, and I am. Even when you feel broken and beaten down and you just can't even, you're still perfect and wonderful. I see that. So, that brokenness is, in my opinion, what makes us uniquely, perfectly, beautifully ourselves. Because, and here's the like amazing thing. Well, maybe not amazing, but so you can have a family of kids. Let's say there's, two or more, and they go through the exact same life together. They have the same parents, they have the same house, they go to the same schools, they do all of the same things, but their ages are different or they're twins or whatever. And how they turn out and where they identify their broken bits is going to be different. And I find that amazing and incredible and mind blowing at the same time, right? Because how we see ourselves and how others see us and how we're raised and all of those things that add to our pieces actually affect us in different ways. So, one person, as I've said this before with the palmistry, right? When I'm reading your palms, one person could go through the most amazing, horrendous thing ever, and it's barely in their hand because, in their mind, in their opinion, They made it through and they were fine. But somebody else could go through the exact same thing, and there's this great big oval on their hand that shows it was actually a huge moment for them and a lot to get going again. So when we look at things like that, we have to take into consideration who we are. And I think this whole journey of healing really begins with being honest with yourself and your experiences. Because when you're honest with yourself, you have nothing to lose. You're building trust with yourself. And that relationship you have with you is one of the most important stories that you can tell yourself. And also one of the most important stories that you can actually look through and examine. So I know, well, I'm not sure if I've told the story, but um, when I when I had that tower moment, I walked around and I felt like my heart was broken inside my chest. Um, and I was like imagining myself just taping it together so I could get through the day, so I could get through this moment, so I could just get through. And I would like see myself taping it with like the cheap tape, and stapling it together because sometimes the tape didn't hold tight enough. And I was walking around with this huge, painful chest because my heart was broken and the pieces were taped together with cheap tape and staples. And every time I breathed, every time I laughed, every time I moved, I would feel the pain. And it's because I didn't actually value those broken bits. I didn't value that. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to heal it. I didn't know where, and I didn't have anybody to turn to. And I feel like that is such an important thing. When you're looking for somebody to help you, look far and wide. Look until you find them because they're there. And, I actually just had a conversation with a friend who's a therapist, and I didn't even realize that you could interview therapists. I think that's fabulous. You should interview life coaches. You should interview energy healers. Make sure that's the right person for you to begin your healing journey with. I highly recommend that. So, I believe that everything we go through actually affects us, whether we want to admit it or not, and whether we want to see it or not. It's actually what happens. We get affected. And in my experience, when I finally admitted and looked at my broken pieces, I saw them as a place to start, a place for growth, a place for change, a place for healing, and actually as that opportunity to learn who I am and love myself as much as I love everybody else. Because quite honestly, you deserve all that love you're trying to give away to everybody else. So when you turn and focus it on yourself, amazing things can happen. And, whether you choose to plant a garden in those broken pieces, or you choose to mend them, or you choose to actually remove some chunks and replace it with something new and make it a different, beautiful piece of art, that's your choice. That's up to you. But by ignoring all of these broken pieces of ourselves, we're actually we're hiding ourselves. We're hiding from ourselves. We're hiding our potential. We are hiding and living in pain. And it always strikes me so weird for how long I actually lived with that pain before I finally went, okay, let's have a look at it. Let's deal with it. Let's figure it out. Because those broken areas are where our light shines out. They are our guide to all of the places that we have open for ourselves for healing. And, I'm still always excited about healing. There are some moments where I'm like, okay, let's look at this. But honestly, you are being given a guidebook in your broken pieces for healing yourself. You just have to learn how to read it, which means you have to get to know yourself again and again and again and again. Actually, I have to say that. Um, this is never something that you're going to do once and it's done. It's going to get easier as you go when you're dealing with certain things, But your healing journey is just that. It is a journey. It's wide open. It is beautiful and bright and waiting for us to start. So when you're doing this, really take your time, give yourself some compassion, give yourself a lot of love and a lot of self care. And I think it was a couple weeks ago, I was reading this article, and it was talking about how when you realize all of a sudden you're not giving yourself time and space, and you're actually run down and exhausted and you're just tired, right? Their advice was to schedule at least 48 hours where you had nothing to do, but treat yourself like your body was sick with a cold. So, nap, sleep, drink lots of water, binge watch something to keep your mind occupied if you want to, journal, take care of yourself as if you were sick. Because so many times, the only time we actually stop and give ourselves that love and compassion is when our body is physically sick with a cold, with the flu, whatever. But that moment of clarity for me was so amazing. And I immediately went, okay, where's my calendar? I need to book off 48 hours because I need to sleep. I need to relax. I need to journal. I need to meditate. I need to binge watch. I need to just almost do nothing. And none of that sounds like doing nothing, right? All of that sounds like, oh, I've got this big list of things to do. But it's a list of things that actually brings joy to my soul. Like just thinking about laying in bed and napping. Oh, that is just so much fun. Like it just, yeah. So you're making those things and it's stuff you enjoy to do. And, if you enjoy camping, take 48 hours and go camping and treat yourself and treat your soul and treat your body to this amazing experience in nature where you are letting yourself be there and be relaxed and enjoy it. Why not, right? Honestly, yeah, and yeah, I would love to go for a nap right now. Thank you, Christine. That would be so much fun. But you need to give your body what your body needs, and you need to give your mind and your soul what your mind and your soul needs. And especially when you're doing healing work. And quite honestly, we do these things almost subconsciously with the healing, right? We just kind of know what we need and we do it. And that's a fabulous thing. It's a fabulous energy to be in, to be taking care of yourself so well that you know and you do. And looking at where your breaks are, where your breaking points are, where your lines are, it's so important because that's how you figure it out. Getting to know yourself and seeing where you're broken. So I'm really excited because I want to talk about the different types of being broken. This, for me, when I sat down to get it all out on paper, was the most incredible and illuminating thing because at the beginning of my journey, and I want to say at the beginning of my life, really, I made this conscious choice to not become a bitter, nasty, ugly person because, and I mean, inside, I don't want to be a bitter, nasty, ugly person to anybody else. And I don't want to take what I go through in life and just spew it back out. And I made that conscious choice to actually see myself for who I am and then build towards who I want to be. Because there are so many different versions of me from when my younger days and how I've evolved and how I've changed. And every time I did that, it was subconsciously by looking at my breaks, my broken parts, and realizing that who I want to be is who I can be if I make the choice. And I think that's really important. So when we come back from break, we are going to talk about the different types of being broken and how they affect us and what choices we can make to not be that. So thanks for listening so far, and I will see you after break.
So often we live our lives based on the expectations of others. My dad always used the mantra, be better than your parents. Let's break the patterns that are keeping you unhappy, playing small and repeating the stories of your family. Sometimes we're afraid to make the changes and choices that our hearts yearn for. We just aren't sure what choices will create the life we want. It's time to begin raising your bar and living your best life. Elizabeth Moore, soul and body healer, invites you to challenge yourself to start raising your bar and changing your life. Elizabeth is live Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 Central, 12 Mountain, 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Raising Your Bar with Elizabeth Moore. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to elizabeth.purpledoor@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Thank you, and welcome back to part 2 of finding the beauty in your brokenness, because it's there and it exists, and we should be looking at it. We should be examining it. We should be picking it, not apart, but we should be examining those broken pieces and starting from there. That's where you begin. I have so many people who contact me and they're like, oh, I want to change my life, but I don't know where to begin. That is the perfect place to start. Quite honestly, any place is a perfect place to start, but looking at those broken pieces and seeing where you are wounded is the perfect place to start. So I did say we were going to talk about the different types, and this one, yeah, I'm excited about this. Sorry. So the different types are broken and out to break others. And it's a little bit different than the angry and bitter, nasty feeling. This is the group that are, you know what? I had this done to me, so I'm going to keep this and I'm going to do this to other people, because how dare other people not have this experience, not feel this pain, not, it's the people, I always see it as they don't have anybody in their life that actually sees them and says that. You know how powerful it is to look into somebody's eyes and just say, I see you. I'm holding space for you, and I see you. I see you. It's so powerful. And it's such I think, a kindness, but I also think it's a conversation opener, right? Where are you hurt? Let's talk about that. And do that and give that to them. And then allow others to do that for you. We don't have to constantly be giving to other people as healers. We need to be healing ourselves too. And we also need to have those people in our life that will help us heal on our journey the way we help other people heal. So important. So the broken and out to break others, the broken and blaming others. So those people, right? I used to be one when I was younger. And oftentimes we put it down as like teenage or childish behavior, but it's the people who are like, you say something like, well, that was a not so nice thing to do. What are you doing? And they're like, oh, you know what? It was their fault because, and they always have somebody else to blame. It's never their fault. And, we get, this is a whole other topic, I know, maybe for another day, but we get caught up in saying, oh, well, people who can't take responsibility, they're narcissists. And quite honestly, there's so much more to that narcissist label than just not being able to take blame. Quite honestly, not being able to take blame often comes from your childhood. And we all go through those phases, right? Where, ooh, I can't get in trouble because like I just can't be the person that's at fault because I'm going to get in trouble. And so we don't want to get in trouble and we find somebody else to blame. And some people go through their lives and they're always blaming others. But the problem, this becomes a bigger problem when you actually become stuck in that victimology feeling, right? Where, oh, it's always somebody else's fault. I'm never the one that's at fault. And, I'm the victim here. And it's easy to fall into that. I've done it a few times. It's, you just feel it fall into that victim feeling and victim thinking. And you don't realize that it's those broken pieces that just need some love inside yourself. And they just need you to love them. I know. I'm really today, I keep going back to that. They just need you to love them. And you just need you to love yourself. Broken pieces, not so great things, shadow side, all of those things. That's what makes you you. And you still need love. You still deserve love. We all deserve love. So I always harp on that. You need to learn how to love yourself as you are. You are a work in progress and change is going to happen regardless, but learn to love yourself as you are, because I think you will be wonderfully surprised at who's actually in there waiting for you. So, sorry. Broken and continuing to be broken. So these are the people that they keep putting themselves in the same situations and having the exact same outcome, and sometimes even worse, right? And we see that, and we're over here standing there going, why do you keep doing that? Like, you're just running in circles and banging your head against the same brick wall. It's because they can't see that. They can't see that. I have had clients who thought they were healing, and they were not healing in the way they thought they were. And they were doing, the same things. So we approached it differently, and a lot of goal setting and a lot of, being accountable. But it's that thing where they can't always see it. And that's not that nothing to be blamed about, no judgment there. How many times have you caught yourself with your blinders on, not being able to see what's going on, not being able to see that there's other choices you can make, right? Honestly, there was a few years where I had my blinders on and there were choices I could make and I still couldn't see them because I wasn't ready to. I wasn't looking within and checking in with all of me, including my broken bits, because again, that's where the growth is. So be patient, be kind, be compassionate, and understand that even if you can see it, not everybody can. So be careful with how you talk to them. Now, the broken and hiding it. And I feel like there's a lot of us that understand this one. Um, it's acting like everything is great and everything is wonderful. And, oh, that doesn't bug me. Nothing bugs me. It's kind of like wearing a mask, and we all hear the descriptions of certain childhoods, right? And a lot of them were like, well, we didn't talk about what went on in the house, outside of the house. And from the outside looking in, everything was perfect and beautiful and wonderful. And we just kept it that way. Everything on the inside was crumbling and falling apart and broken as broken can be, but they kept acting like it was normal and everything was great and they were normal and fine. And that's really dangerous because you tend not to see that that's not normal and not fine. And those tend to be the ones that, need a lot of help too. But it's harder for them because they've worked all their life keeping this facade going. And they actually can sometimes fool themselves. And I think we can all, like, there's certain parts of all of these broken pieces that we all resonate with and we can all feel and understand. So you're not always going to be just one type of broken. There's going to be a bunch of other things in there, which, I have to say, definitely reach out to somebody that you want to work with for this one, because it's not always pretty looking backwards. So the last one, sorry, I have to sneeze, is broken and healing. And honestly, I feel like this is like the goal to going through all of these broken pieces, is to get to the broken and the healing, because at that point, you are becoming your best you. And yeah, you're still that work in progress, but you're making progress. You're getting there. You are hopefully feeling good about what you're doing, healing wise. You are looking at things that, maybe trigger you, things that scare you and cause your fear to flare up, and you're actually facing them. And I so proud of you. I know how hard that is. I know how big of a journey that is. And when you get to that point where you are broken and healing, what do you look like? What do you feel like? How is that for you? Right? For me, again, I always envision, those the orange clay, terracotta, that's the word. The terracotta pots that you can find at craft stores and that kind of thing. And we went through a phase, I don't even know how many years ago, where they would break them into pieces and then glue them back together, or break them into pieces and put them on top of another pot with dirt in it. And they'd fill it with dirt and pack it in. So you could see flowers growing out the cracks and crevices. To me, whenever somebody says you should be tending to your inner garden, that's what I see. I see like my broken pieces in my heart area, because that's where I carry it, just sprouting flowers, right? And, you have to go back in and pull the weeds out. And for me, that's the healing moments. Those are the times when you are going in and you're pulling out those weeds that are popping up in the broken areas, because you're not that anymore. It's not who you are anymore. You are this beautiful blooming plant, and you can change whatever flower you want to, right? Right now, I'm really into Cosmo flowers, and they're just happy, sunny little faces. So when I say I'm going within to weed my garden or to tend to my garden, that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing all these beautiful cosmos. And occasionally there's this weed that, I need to deal with. I need to look at the root of it and see, what is this weed telling me in my broken space? And we can do this. How are we going to do this? Well, we're going to talk about that after the next break. And I'm also going to share a little mini meditation that I do for going within and actually looking at the pieces and the wounds and helping you to heal. And it's just simple and easy, and everybody can do it. So I will, yeah, that's after the next break. I'm got a little carried away there because I'm super excited about that again. But yeah, so we want to do that because all of what we're doing is towards becoming the best you. We are raising our bar on who we are into who we want to be. And it's a beautiful space. It's a beautiful thing to do, but it is a hard journey. And I completely understand that part. It's challenging, and it pushes you to the extreme sometimes of what you thought you could handle. But then you handle it, and then you grow, and you are getting amazingly closer to being the best you. So we're going to go to break. And when we get back, we're going to talk about how we can do this, because I believe in all of you. I know you can all do this. So we will see you after break.
So often we live our lives based on the expectations of others. My dad always used the mantra, be better than your parents. Let's break the patterns that are keeping you unhappy, playing small and repeating the stories of your family. Sometimes we're afraid to make the changes and choices that our hearts yearn for. We just aren't sure what choices will create the life we want. It's time to begin raising your bar and living your best life. Elizabeth Moore, soul and body healer, invites you to challenge yourself to start raising your bar and changing your life. Elizabeth is live Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 Central, 12 Mountain, 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is Raising Your Bar with Elizabeth Moore. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to elizabeth.purpledoor@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey, welcome back to Raising Your Bar with Elizabeth Moore. We are talking about finding the beauty in brokenness and hopefully taking away some of the myths around brokenness and realizing that it's perfectly wonderful to be broken. It's just how you choose to be broken that matters, or how you choose to deal with being broken that matters, right? So that you're not becoming this nasty, bitter person who wants to break everybody else, but becoming the best you can be. And I have a membership. It is actually, you can find it through Purple Door, www.purpledoor-cambridge.ca. It's called Inside Purple Door. And in this membership, we are working on becoming the best you can be. And we are looking at all areas of life, not just your broken pieces, but all the areas of life that you would find in your broken pieces. So getting to know yourself, getting to know who you are at every level and every layer of life, because who you are changes. And honestly, I don't think we actually spend enough time getting to know ourselves on a really deep level. And inside the membership, I have meditations for each and every subject and workbooks for each and every subject. There are discounts to working with me through life coaching or energy healing, or actually the dark moon reading, which is something that is coming up with the next the night before the new moon. But you can find all of that on my website. I'm enjoying the membership because we are going deep, and actually it's self-paced, so you're not falling behind. And I think that is one of our biggest worries as a human being is falling behind in any part of our life, right? We're always worried that we're falling behind or not doing enough. That's why I made the membership self-paced. You do you, whatever speed you want, and you can redo the topics as many times as you want to and need to. So you can join me there. All the details are on the Purple Door website. Right now, though, we are talking about how, right? How do we find the beauty in our brokenness? And in finding the beauty in our brokenness, find the acceptance in our brokenness. Because, you probably didn't choose the way you got broken. We really didn't. But it always starts with being honest with yourself and figuring out how you feel, who you are, and working with yourself from there, being accepting of that level, that person, that you are right now. And I know that sounds really weird, but we all got to this place in different ways. And we all made choices and decisions that maybe the today version of who you are was kind of like, oh, I wish I didn't do that. But it's okay. Let's do this in a non-judgmental and accepting way. because that's the best place to come from. Honestly, it sounds so, I don't even know what the word is for it, but love is the best place to start with yourself. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself, because you're worth it and you deserve it. And yeah, honestly, love yourself first. So, one of the most important pieces in our healing journey, again, is getting to know yourself and offering yourself compassion and kindness. Being honest with ourselves builds trust in ourselves so that when we actually need to go deeper, whether it's with ourselves, with a therapist, with a coach, with a healer, we're actually prepared to go deeper because we can trust ourselves that we have our back. And when you're in that vulnerable space of dealing with your wounds and going into the broken pieces, you have to be able to trust yourself to get there. Oh, that's so deep. You have to trust yourself to be able to get to those deep places. All right. So sorry. That trust yourself just completely threw me. So being honest with yourself allows you to go deeper. In going deeper, it actually opens up for more healing. And one of the ways that I really like to do this, so it depends if you've heard about the violet flame before. You don't have to have heard about it. You don't have to know about it. Doesn't matter. For me, the violet flame is the violet flame of healing. And it is one of those beautiful, gentle energies that helps to transmute anything that you're holding on to that you don't need to be holding on to. It helps to transmute those broken pieces into love and kindness and compassion. And I work with the violet flame. I work with just the universe and the white light, but I also work with a golden energy because there are so many beautiful things that are repaired with gold. And gold is such a warm, healing energy that it's just beautiful to work with. So you're going to pick your color, energy color, and it doesn't have to be any of those three. It can be anything that you need. So if you are looking for fire and energy and, getting things going, I would look at the color orange personally. You can actually do it based on your chakras as well. If you know the chakra system, you can do it on, there's a vibrational chart too. It's in the membership, but you can find it online. It is a vibrational chart and it actually goes from like bottom low level vibrations all the way up to connection, I believe is the top one. And it's different colors for each layer. So if you're looking for acceptance, it's on there. If you are looking for peace, it's on there. Pick the color that resonates the most with you. And then you're going to find a lovely area to sit down in. I would say lay down, but typically I tend to fall asleep when I'm doing meditations. And this is when you want to see through to the end because you're bringing yourself messages. So you're going to find that lovely area to sit down and sit however you're comfortable. If you need a pillow, a blanket, feet on the floor, feet folded, whatever makes you happy. I like to have a candle. And usually it's a candle. I can just have the flame in front of me so that I can actually focus on the flame and see it. Kleenex is nearby because tears happen and they are something to be, I want to say, enjoyed, because tears are a release. They're a way of your body speaking when you either can't through your mouth or in your mind. Let your body speak through your tears. And always pen and paper, because you never know what inspiration you're going to have or actually what's going to come up that you didn't even think about. Lots of that. So sitting nicely, comfortably, covered up, uncovered, however works for you. Having, for me, the candle in front that I actually can focus on and look at. And you're just going to take some relaxing breaths in and out. And what you're doing is grounding yourself into your body. And you're grounding yourself into your space. And I like to go into my heart for this one, but you go wherever you're comfortable with and wherever you are guided to go. And you feel that. And when you feel that your body is grounded and you're ready to go, ask yourself, what color do I need for healing today? I hear purple for me. Maybe it's purple for all of us. I don't know. But now what we're going to do is just envision ourselves being surrounded by purple energy, purple light, and filling your body up. And then you're going to see the light coming through the cracks and healing those cracks. And you're going to do this for as long as you need to. Because eventually what's going to happen is that color is going to heal those crack lines. And eventually the color won't be coming out the cracks anymore. It's going to be filling you up. And it's filling you up with the energy you need because you asked your body and you asked yourself, what do I need right now? And you can find different color meanings online. You can just intuitively choose yourself because you're building trust with yourself. In raising your bar, you are building trust with yourself, and you can trust what you say and what your body says. So, sorry, it always makes me emotional. Now you're feeling that energy fill you up, and you can see the glowing parts for me. That's how I see it. I can see the glowing parts of the cracks because to me, there is so much beauty in being broken. And I really hope that you can find that in yourself too. There is beauty in being broken. There is beauty in not hiding it. There is beauty in asking for help. There is beauty in healing. Oh, I can't. Yeah, I love healing. The energy of healing and just the process of healing, as ugly and nasty as it is, it's beautiful. So now that you have filled that energy up, you can extend that energy and color outside of you. And you can just see that in your aura, in your energy. And that color and that energy color is actually going to support you. You can choose to have it there all day. You can choose to have it just be there for meditations or when you need it. But that is your energy. That is your energy healing your broken pieces that are beautiful and lovely and wonderful and make you uniquely who you are. And we need to appreciate that more. Honestly, we need to appreciate that a lot more because there is no perfection except in nature. And in nature, perfection is not perfect. When you look at flowers, you don't say, oh, you don't have 16 petals. You can't be. We don't do that. We accept the beauty in that flower. We see the beauty in that flower. And I really want to be able to have that experience for you and for each one of us, because there is beauty in who you are. And there's beauty in being broken. And I absolutely just love that whole meditation with the energy. And when you're ready, you can put your candle out. You can journal everything that you feel, everything that has come to you in your mind, any, aha moments that you had, write them all down and just get them out. And then actually move forward and go on with your day. And then come back to that whenever you need to. And change the colors as needed and as wanted. It's just a beautiful meditation that you can do for yourself. And it just brings you up. and shows you how beautiful you are. And when we get back from break, we are going to talk about a different way to work with me and how we can actually see our changes. I will see you after the next break.
So often we live our lives based on the expectations of others. My dad always used the mantra, be better than your parents. Let's break the patterns that are keeping you unhappy, playing small and repeating the stories of your family. Sometimes we're afraid to make the changes and choices that our hearts yearn for. We just aren't sure what choices will create the life we want. It's time to begin raising your bar and living your best life. Elizabeth Moore, soul and body healer, invites you to challenge yourself to start raising your bar and changing your life. Elizabeth is live Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 Central, 12 Mountain, 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Raising Your Bar with Elizabeth Moore. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to elizabeth.purpledoor@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hi, welcome back to Raising Your Bar with Elizabeth Moore. And today we are talking about finding the beauty in brokenness. And why is that important? Because we tend to get different ideas about what brokenness is. And society has a lot of ideas about what brokenness is. And quite honestly, I was having lunch with a friend a couple weeks ago, and she was talking about a post that she saw where it just keeps coming up for her. And the post said, you're not broken. And to me, when we resist something, it just comes back all that much more. And that post just, it annoyed us both. But we were talking about it because I found my beauty in my life, in my brokenness. I found Purple Door in my brokenness, which is my business online right now. I found life coaching and helping others in my brokenness. I found who I was in my brokenness. And I feel like when we deny what is our brokenness, we actually deny a part of ourselves that really, really needs our love and attention, right? We are pretending like it didn't happen. We're pretending like we're fine. And meanwhile, we have a huge part of ourselves that is just screaming for attention and love and to be seen. And I really think that, having things out there like that, I understand not everybody likes that whole beauty and brokenness. I do. I've had some conversations with people that don't. But this is my opinion. This is my experience. This is how I find things through life. This is how I find, when I'm life coaching, it's really a big thing. And being able to be honest with ourselves and see ourselves for who we are today, knowing that who we want to be in 6 months or a year, 5 years or 10 years is going to be radically different than where we are now. We need to look at our broken pieces. We need to accept that, we have broken pieces and it's okay. It's actually beautiful. So I feel very passionately strong about this because we have so much encouragement in life to act like everything is fine and put the facade on and, just live up to the expectations of others, that I think when you're experiencing those broken pieces, you really need to be honest with yourself and give yourself time to not only see them, but feel them, right? And I'm not saying get stuck in the emotion of or get stuck in the moment of trauma. I'm simply saying acknowledge that it happened and acknowledge that today you are stronger than you were then. You are stronger now. You have more knowledge now. You have more wisdom now. You have more. of you now. So the broken parts, I understand it's a conflict for some people. I get it. Before my life imploded, I probably would have felt the same way. But I think there is a beauty in seeing who you are and being able to look back and see how you've evolved and changed, and then look ahead and see how you want to evolve and change, and actually use all parts of you to get there. And that is something that I am very, very, very strongly believe about. And that's why I created the membership inside Purple Door. It is, as I've said, a self-led healing group. And I'm there. I'm there if you need me. But at the same time, I feel that independence is such a huge part of healing, for me anyway, that I wouldn't want to take away anybody else's independence, because those healing moments you have and those healing ahas you have, they're yours. I love being a healer. I love being a life coach, but quite honestly, at the end of the day, you're doing the work for you. I do the work for me, and I consistently do the work for me, so that I can be there to support you while you do the work for you. And all of the parts of yourself that you think are broken, all of the parts of yourself that you think you want to just rip off and throw away, all of those parts are looking for you to heal them. And however that looks like, right? Maybe some of those parts we do throw away because they're not helpful to us anymore. We don't need them, so we can let them go in a healthy way. But I created the Inside Purple Door membership as self-led because in building trust with yourself, you know what you need to do. And you know what you need more than I know what you need, which is huge, right? Because we always want to go to the experts and we want to go to somebody who knows better. And when you actually get to that point and you're like, whoa, I'm the expert on me. That's awesome. It's fabulous because it's the truth. So even when you look at it and you go, oh, but I have all these broken bits and I don't know what to do with them. Go within, look at your broken bits, use that meditation to highlight your broken bits and to start healing the area and the space in between your broken bits. Do it as many colors, as many times, as you need, right? Because our broken pieces, that's where we are. That's where our healing is. That's where our growth is. And that's where our beauty is. And I really hope that everybody walks away from today's show understanding that there's no shame in being broken. There's no need to judge any of our broken pieces or any of the trauma that caused them. And there's no need to judge ourselves for how we react to our broken pieces. So maybe you go through that anger moment. That's okay, because you're going to work yourself through to the healing and broken moments, right? We're not going to hold that against ourselves. We're going to hold standards, hold ourselves accountable to standards, hold ourselves accountable to boundaries, and hold ourselves accountable to just loving ourselves. That's where the healing begins, with loving yourself. That's where the healing is with loving yourself. Because when you actually start loving yourself for who you are, you start healing yourself. Right? So anyways, I really want to thank you for being here with me for today's show on Finding the Beauty in Brokenness. You can find me at elizabeth.purpledoor@gmail.com or www.purpledoor-cambridge.ca. And take care and have a really great day. And remember, there's beauty in brokenness.
Thank you for listening to the Raising Your Bar Show with Elizabeth Moore. Elizabeth returns Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 Central, 12 Mountain, 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until next time, remember to continue raising your bar.